Meeting it up. Now it's live.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. All right, you're on.
Okay. Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Rabbi Farkas from Valley Best Shalom. It's Sunday morning, it's about 10 o'clock. It's time for our weekly check-in and schmooze. This morning, we're joined by a good friend, Happie Hoffman, who is a singer and songwriter in the Jewish world, up and coming, very well known. And we're just glad to have her. Hailing from Tulsa, Oklahoma, where she's currently residing, but in this world of online streaming and Zoom calls, we'll be able to be with her. Happie, it's so good to see you. Good morning. How are you?
Dr. Tove, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, it's so exciting to be with you and be with all of you this morning from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And how were your Seder's, Happie? Were they good?
My Seders were lovely. The first one, we had a family Zoom Seder. Uh,
Okay.
very meticulously planned out with an outline, page numbers, and parts. So that was great to be with the family, and they actually mailed Haggadot to everybody. We all were. It was very planned. It was beautiful. And then the second night, I was part of a seder with an organization called Tribe.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, maybe you could tell me a little bit about Tribe in a minute. What we want to do this morning, because it is our Sunday schmooze. What we want to do is just allow people to ask questions and to say hello, and try to kibitz with us for a few minutes as we join together. And I see that Ami and Jane are on right now, which is really nice to see, and Stacy Rubin. Really, really good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Jane. Thank you for commenting. And we just want everyone who's out there, who's watching us, this is your chance to ask questions, to hang with me, to just check in on a Sunday morning, this morning after the Seders and after the first days of Passover. And I have my guest here, who's Happie Hoffman, a singer songwriter, and it's just a chance for us to be together. She's going to play a few songs for us. We're going to have a chance to talk. If you have any questions for me or for her, this is your chance to do that. I'd like to, I see Phyllis is on. Really nice to see you, Phyllis. What I'd like to do is do a couple of announcements first. Starting tomorrow, or even this afternoon at 3 p.m., I have a panel that I've recorded and will be online with several other faith leaders in Los Angeles, sponsored by the University of Southern California Dornsife Center for Religion and Civic Culture. And we'll be talking about what it means to be religious leaders in this crazy time of COVID-19, especially with all these spring holidays, Passover, Easter, and actually Ramadan is starting in about a week and a half. So I'm joined by Dr. Najuma Smith, as Reverend Dr. Najuma Smith, and Aziza Hazan. Aziza is the executive director of New Ground, which is the Muslim-Jewish partnership, and Najuma runs a church, and she's a fabulous pastor, and it's hosted by Relaxoda, who is the executive director of the USC Dornsife Center. So really great to have her. And so that's at 3 o'clock. 5 o'clock tonight is our daily minyan. 6 o'clock p.m. is our daily minyan. And then tomorrow morning we have daily minyan, and our second week of Passover camp is going on. So let me just tell you a little bit about that. Since it's a spring break as well as Passover, we've been putting on content on our various channels for families and kids, so that kids have some stuff to do. And we're going into our second week. I want to welcome Erez, and I see that Craig Tubman is watching, and Karen. It's nice to see all of you. Welcome to our Sunday schmooze, as well as Lauren Abraham. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And Laura Sarvian is on, as well as Beth. Nice to see everyone there. We're just going through a few announcements, and then Happie and I will be happy to sing a little bit together and to ask you some questions. So tomorrow's program includes our first grade Aleph Bet Blast Off, which is with Canner Barron. That will be 9 a.m. tomorrow on Facebook. And then if you are a member of the synagogue and you have kids in our school, we have K through 3 programming at 10 a.m., which is a storytelling and storyboarding exercise. At 4 through 6, we're running our survival camp. If you're and that's at 11 a.m. And also, if you are in grades 4 through 6, we have theater games in the afternoon at 1 p.m. And then later, we have family exercise with one of our members who's a personal trainer named Mike Kramer, and he's going to host family exercise at 3:30 p.m. on Zoom. And then in the evening, tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. is the ECC story time with Claire Berger, who works in our community and does story time. So the first program of the day and the last program of the day is open for everyone to participate in, and the programs in the middle are for our school students and for members. We're just really, really, really happy to have everyone here. Happy Craig Tubman says hello. He's smiling at us. He's and want to let you know that he's watching us. I see David Goldman's on and Francine is there. Good morning, Francine. Lori Beth, nice to see you. Hope Mississippi is doing well. I got a nice message, Lori Beth, from Richard Balzer, which was really nice also. Also, one last thing tonight at 7 p.m. is our meditation. So it's just a chance to be together. So I want everyone to just take a deep breath. If you have any questions for us, if you have, I know we have so many announcements, but if you have any questions for us, comments, anything you want to process, this is your time to do that. The best way to do that is to type into the comments section on our various Facebook pages and let us know if you have questions or comments. If you want to get the word out about all the amazing things that we're doing, including this Passover camp, meditation, experiences like this, go ahead and like and share everything. Invite people to the Valley Beth Shalom Facebook page because that's the best way to do it. Happy, it is so good to see you. While we're waiting for some more people to come in, maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself and where do you come from and how did you get into this music business and singing songs and things like that?
Absolutely, thank you. So my name is Happie Hoffman. I live currently in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I travel around to different communities bringing music, a lot of Jewish music, Jewish ritual moments. And I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and started playing music at a young age, but started song leading in my Jewish community at age 16. And at that point, I was teaching Sunday school. I continued to do some song leading in college, and ultimately started doing some work on the side, going to retreats, BBYO retreats, song leading, and eventually this became a full-time situation, and I feel really lucky. I love spending time with communities, singing with communities, and building community through song. So.
That's amazing. And so what are you doing now? Are you in residence with a particular organization? Are you anywhere else? Like are you tell me a little bit about what you're doing.
So I'm freelance. I work with a handful of organizations. I work very closely with BBYO. I'm their music director, so I do a lot of I work on their big conventions and their big year-round moments, and I do a lot of work with AJT, which is a combination of BBYO and the JDC, the Joint Distribution Committee.
Oh, that's cool.
They're doing a lot of work in the former Soviet Union. So a couple times a year I've been going there to build singing communities and teach at the youth group conventions in Russia and Ukraine, Moldova. And yeah, I work here and there with a lot of different organizations and congregations.
That's amazing. That's really amazing work. I see some other people have come on. I see Ronan and John Carrier is on. I saw that David Light came on for a minute. That's really nice to see you. And Mark Rudda. Just some other announcements are coming out across the comment page now. Again, if you want to participate in the Sunday Schmooze, all you got to do is if you have a question or a comment, just go ahead and put it in and let us know. You're getting a Shavua Tov Happy from Mark Lazar, so he says hello to you. And maybe Happy, maybe you want to play a song for us. Is there anything that you're thinking about these days, song that you'd like to play? It's obviously Passover, so a chance for you to maybe sing a song for us about Passover, whatever's on your mind.
Well, let me think of what I want to play. Maybe I'll play a Passover song first. It's one of the other organizations I partner with is the March of the Living. So every year for the past 6 years, I've been going to Poland and Israel with the BJE, the Los Angeles BJE actually. So in a lot of ways, Los Angeles feels like a home to me. Getting to come out there and spend time with the staff members at the BJE. So let me start with Diana. Dianu, 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 Dianu,
So nice. So nice. You have such a great voice. I love it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Happie, I first met you just a month. It feels like a year ago, but it was just like a month and a half ago. I was at the APAC policy conference for the Shabbaton, doing some teaching, and they bring everyone together for Havdalah. And one of my very good friends is Rabbi Jonathan Birkin in Florida, and we always try to find time to get together. So we were together for Havdalah. The lights come down, the lights on the stage come up. There's must have been, I don't know, 8,000-9,000 people just for Havdalah, and you come out, and I hear this amazing voice, and I see Noah Aronson up there, and then I see you, and I've never met you before, and Jonathan just kept going on and on. She's like, she's the next person. She's it. And we're just really glad that you're here. And I was so impressed, blown away with you. We met then like 2 nights later, and we made sure that we had a chance to speak together and be together. And now we're here together this morning. So it's just really, really, really nice. Really, really nice to be together. I see a lot more people online, and I see Alana Schreiner and Janet Mintz is online. Osnat Sor is online. I hope your family, Osnat's doing well, and hope everyone's family is doing well. Maybe Happie just talk to this as first of all, for everyone out there who's watching, this is your chance. This is the Sunday Schmooze, an opportunity for you to check in with us. Let us know how you're doing. You can ask us questions, or maybe give us your best Seder moment. Was there a moment at your Seder this past couple of days where you felt like, okay, we can get through this? This is difficult situation, but we had a funny Zoom moment, or we were able to feel like we're connected to each other. So maybe go ahead and type that into the comments. I'll read some of those out. If there was a particular funny moment or something interesting or something that happened in your Zoom Seder, go ahead and put that out there. Maybe Happy, maybe do you have any moments from your Seders that this past that like kind of stand out for you, whether it's your family Seder or the one you did for Tribe, which is this national outreach organization for young folks? Was there anything that stood out for you?
Well, this Passover was, different, fascinating for so many reasons. But just trying to put the Passover experience together by myself was, for me, a first time. One funny thing, I tried so hard to find a Seder plate online. So everything was sold out on Amazon, and I got these little foam things, these little children's foam things, and I used a plate. And so this was my Seder plate. That felt very like a win. But really just being with the family on Zoom, all the jokes about being able to mute the family, that was hilarious. And just, hearing the familiar voices and the tastes. I mean, I cooked everything for the first time, which was in and of itself an experience. But yeah, I guess one funny thing was at one point, I texted all of my cousins and I was like, "Welcome to the kids' table."
That's the best.
Sub chat going during the Seder, which also felt like real Seder. So
That's right. It's not really a Seder unless you can make fun of the person leading it. And now, as the person who leads the Seder for our family, I can tell you I very much appreciate what's going on at the kids' table, and I don't mind it because I know that that's part of the Seder experience, right? We had some funny moments. We decided one night, because we, two nights, one night, instead of going through the Haggadah, we did some opening things and gathered people together. But then we had to go through the storytelling. And this is where mute actually comes really in handy. We had 30 something people on for Seder, and we had everyone go around and start telling the story. And I would then, maybe even mid sentence, mute someone and then pick someone else up, and they'd have to pick it up and then have to continue the story. And so let's just say it got a little weird.
people on their toes.
Yeah, exactly. It was an opportunity to sort of like let people get really creative and add in their own midrash or whatever, if you will. But it was a way of, like, in this day and age when like everyone could have a Haggadah, or perhaps you could screen share and do a Haggadah, but it was also a way of folks expressing their sort of where they saw themselves in the story. You could just tell by how they got creative and going around and interrupting each other. And so it was a really a fun game. For all of those who are watching us, this is the Sunday Schmooze. I'm Rabbi Farkas. I'm joined by Happie Hoffman, who's a singer-songwriter in the Jewish world. Really a wonderful, stunning voice, up-and-coming, amazing lady. And we're talking about Passover. She's going to sing a few more songs for us. If you had a funny Seder moment in the last couple of Seders that you did, last couple of days, go ahead and throw them in the comments, because we'd love to hear what those were for you. And if you have any questions, or how this is this whole situation with being safer at home, or quarantining, or just being isolated from everyone else, we want to make sure that everyone's doing okay too. I'm Happy. Do you have any other songs you want to play for us? This is an opportunity for you to really sing a little bit, and I just love hearing you sing. So if you got another song that you're thinking of, we'd love to hear it.
I would love to sing another song. So this is one of my favorite songs. I don't know if any of you were watching the Saturday night Seder last night, but
that was great. Wasn't it so nice? It was like really well put together, and just shows you that creativity, no matter what the situation is, creativity will always shine through in some way. I love it. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, it was beautiful, and I was so excited because we had some BBYO teams that got to be a part of it. BBYO was a part of it, but the part that really pulled at my heartstrings was the "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" moment, and Ben Platt singing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," and then talking about Yip Harburg and Arlen, who came to this country, and really it made me see this on a new light. So I'm gonna sing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow."
Love it.
lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then oh, why can't I? Maria, Yeshua, Ozi, Maria, Yeshua, Ozi. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Why can't I?
That was amazing. What a great mashup between Oziv, Zimradia, and Somewhere Over the Rainbow. It's so creative.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful. They both encapture this idea that we try to dream for a better tomorrow. And that there's something about Oz Vizimra, right? That there's something about strength in song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tell me, Happie, a little bit about why you got into this. Why music? What do you see as music that can take us from one place to the other?
I feel that music has the ability to bring us together as a community. You know, when you're singing next to somebody, in a way you're supporting one another. You're giving people around you permission to sing, to express themselves. And I also feel like music gives people access to emotion that they might not otherwise be able to access. And so I feel, I feel very called to do this work and to be able to sing with people and to sometimes come to an event and bring an element of emotion or something like that, whether that's joy or being able to feel a sadness that people want to feel communally, that can be cathartic to feel. And so, yeah, you can experience so many different emotions with different songs, whether it's nostalgia or hope or whatever it might be. So, yeah.
I first became religious when I was 15. I grew up in Plano, Texas, which is only about 3 hours from where you are in Tulsa. And as a Southern guy, we were a small Jewish community in a very vast, definitely felt like the diaspora when I was growing up. When I was 15, I went to the Alexander Moss High School in Israel program. And I fell in love with Judaism there. And the first way that I did that was through music.
Oh,
Um,
wow. What
I,
was that experience like with the music there?
well, I never heard rich Jewish music in that way, and also felt comfortable amongst our people in that way, if you know what I mean. So I felt transported. And I think that music has that power. It brings, as you said, like it brings everything that's inside of you out of you in a way that's so reparative and therapeutic, and also like just names moments in ways that maybe it's hard for us on a regular day-to-day basis to do, right? It just sort of names the thing, right? You're saying the thing, that you're feeling and thinking, whether it's joy or love or pain or sorrow or all of that mixed together all at once in a way that maybe most of us has a hard time explaining or expressing and finding those words, right? So um, I find that really powerful. I write a lot about Torah and wisdom and Judaism, and one of the things I always like to talk about is that religion really is a sacred form of art. That art and religion are in the same, they're the same part of campus in your mind, right? That we're not trying to be, it's not trying to be science, and it's not always trying to be just morality or history. It is something that tries to transform the experience of being a human into something greater, and that is what art does. That's what good art does, and I think that there's so much to be said for that. Well, we want to welcome everyone. I see some more people joining us to the Sunday Schmooze. I'm Rabbi Farkas. I'm here with Happie Hoffman, who's a good friend, new friend, good friend, hailing from Tulsa, Oklahoma, a singer-songwriter. I see lots of wonderful comments coming in. You're getting hellos from some people from all over the country. I want to put it out to anyone who's on our Facebook page right now, who's commenting. Go ahead, like and share. Invite people to our Facebook page so they know the content that we're sharing. And this is your chance to check in with us. Let us know how you're doing. Did you have any interesting or creative Seder moments over Zoom, since we're all kind of in our own homes the last couple days? If there's anything that you'd like Happie to play, maybe there's a Passover song or a Jewish song. She knows a lot. Go ahead and type that into the comments, and maybe if she's able, she'll be able to play for you this morning. We got about 20 minutes left together, so go ahead and do that now. Couple of other announcements coming up since we're passing the half-hour mark here. I want to just reiterate, we have our Passover school coming up. We have this wonderful community. We have nearly 1,000 kids in school at VBS, and we recognize that it's spring break and Passover, so we're trying to provide content for you and your families during this break. So tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m., we have Aleph Bet Blast Off. And then throughout the day, if you are one of our registered students, you'll get the key to come into Zoom. We have things from storytelling, we have fitness classes, we have a dance mashup happening tomorrow. And then in the evening, there is a program with Claire Berger. That's open for everyone for some story time. So and every day during Chol HaMoed, we're going to have these programs because we just know that this kind of content is what all of our families need all the time. So that's on Monday, Tuesday, and then on Friday, we have all of these wonderful programs happening. If it's on Facebook, it's open to the entire world. And if it's on Zoom, it's going to be closed to only our members because that's one of the benefits of being a member. And again, I'm joined with Happie Hoffman here this morning. Happie, it's just been so great to be with you and to hear your voice. You have such a beautiful voice. I really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to be with you and with the Los Angeles community, and so fun to sing with you this morning.
It was so nice. Your Somewhere Over the Rainbow was really special, really, really special.
Thank you.
I'm thinking maybe if you have another song or two or something that's on your mind you want to share with the community, please go ahead and do so. I mean, we're just kind of going with the flow this morning.
Sure. So I will play something I've been playing the past couple of days. I heard Rick Recht sing Avadim Hayinu this way for the first time. I think it's his arrangement of it. So I'm going to sing that and maybe some redemption song. We'll see. Avadim Hayinu, Hayinu, Ata b'nei cholim, b'nei cholim, Avadim Hayinu, Ata b'nei cholim, Avadim Hayinu, Ata b'nei cholim, Avadim Hayinu, Hayinu, Ata b'nei cholim, b'nei cholim, Avadim Hayinu, Ata b'nei cholim, Avadim Hayinu, Ata b'nei cholim. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom, all I ever had, redemption songs, these songs of freedom, all I ever had, redemption songs. Ami chamocha, ani madamar, ami chamocha, neda b'kodesh, nora tehila, oh sefer, oh nora tehila, oh sefer. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom, all I ever had, redemption songs, redemption songs.
That was great. I feel like I don't need a Seder anymore because you just went through the whole thing. It's amazing.
Go, keep going.
Brilliant. Really. That was really brilliant.
Yeah.
Thinking about what it is. Avadim Hayinu, right? We were slaves in the land of Egypt. Each and every one of us has had that experience of being a slave and even if it's not physical slavery, we recognize that there is real slavery. It still exists in the world today. But the trick is about being a slave is that you know that tomorrow is going to look exactly like yesterday. And there's not a real lot of hope. Frederick Douglass, when he wrote about slavery, said that the slaves were expected to sing. And the reason why they were expected to sing is because their white overmasters in the South would show that the Negroes were happy, as they would put it. The Negroes were happy that they were showing that they were happy by singing, even though they were forced to sing. Except that we know that most Negro spirituals are really songs of hope and freedom and of a future. And the song was protest. It was not meant to, even though they were required to sing, they used their song as a protest against the very system of slavery that they were imposed on. And I can't help but thinking that that's how freedom really begins. Is it begins from the spiritual place. It begins in the mind. A slave can't become free till they can dream of freedom themselves. So they can imagine a world that is different and better than the world that we live in today, or that they lived in then. And so even though we're not physically slaves today, I know that there is slavery out there. Each of us is in this weird space right now, right? Where we're all feeling like tomorrow feels a lot like yesterday. And I'm worried that 2 weeks from now, it's going to feel a lot like 2 weeks before. And that feels a little enslaving. Like that feels like that is the kind of purgatory that the slaves go through in their entire life. There's nothing to look forward to. Which is why the end of the Passover Seder is so important, because it shifts, right? You get to eat matzo ball soup in the middle, which is awesome. And you get to like hang out with your cousins or whatever. And then you get to the second part of the Seder, which shifts from Passover that was to what we should be dreaming about in the future. And that is the essence of freedom, is to think about a world that is new, exciting, and different from the one that we're living in, and then have the ability in whatever capacity that you have to pursue that dream, whatever that dream is for you. That to me is what the essence of freedom is. And so when I think about your Avadim Hayinu, your redemption song by Bob Marley, your Micha Mocha, which is from the Torah, I think about that is the story. I mean, the Passover story it transcends all of religion. If you're Muslim or Christian or Jewish and you believe in the Exodus story, that's like half the world's people, and then beyond religion itself, right? So I'm just wondering, as looking out and I see people commenting, what is it the world that you dream of? What's one dream that you're thinking of for when all of this ends and we can go to whatever normal life will be? What's one thing that you're dreaming of?
Yeah.
What's one place that you want to be? What's something you want to achieve in your life, or for yourself or for your family, that maybe this gives an opportunity to reset? So I want to put that out there. We got about 10 minutes left, and I just want to put that out there as a question for everyone out there in Facebook land and on YouTube and across the internet. What's one thing you're dreaming of as you're now moving halfway through the Passover holiday and thinking about what was to what will be? Happie, we got a question for you. This is from one of our congregants. His name is Danny Corson. He's actually a chef, a really well-known chef, and he runs a culinary kids academy. So he runs cooking programs across the community, teaching values, Jewish values, civic values, and Torah through cooking. It's a really amazing program. He asks, he wanted to know who has inspired you musically, both Jewishly or otherwise. Where does your music inspiration come from?
Thank you for that question. I'm very inspired by Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, of course, and I really love John Legend. I really love the Avett Brothers. They're a folk band. Those are, I would say, probably my biggest inspirations, if I have to think of some. And then, of course, my teachers in this world, Rick Recht, Craig Tauman, of course, and many others, Sheldon Lowe.
Wow.
Thank you for that question.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Danny, for that question. And David Noller, I see that you're on. Thank you so much for that beautiful comment. I hope you and your family are doing well. And hopefully that you're finding opportunities for creativity in this space. You know, Happie, one of the things that's really challenging here in Los Angeles is that a lot of people are in production of the entertainment industry, right? The greatest export of Los Angeles is, in a sense, American entertainment culture, like art culture. This city is full of artists, and it's so hard, so hard when you have to create a lot of the art that's created here is created with massive groups of people. You can't create mass culture without mass groups of people, and a lot of our folks who are stuck at home, no new movies are being filmed or TV shows. Writers might be happy because they get a chance to stay home and do some writing, but for everyone else, it's a little challenging. It's really challenging. So I'm wondering, what are you doing for yourself as someone who is an artist, and how you're finding art in this time? Are you writing? Are you playing around with music? Are you teaching yourself? What's something that you're doing?
So for me, I this feels like a very unique situation and time for me. Normally, I'm on the road about 70% of the time, and so to have this time at home is wild to me. I honestly haven't had this much time at home in 8 years, and so I'm finding a lot of comfort in routine and in writing, writing new music. And while I'm on the road, I'm always wishing that I had more time to dedicate to writing. So that's something that's been bringing me comfort. And also having certain routines during the day. For example, at the end of the day, I started this routine that my housemate told me about, where I write down everything that I did during the day, and she calls it a did my best list, which I love, and that has actually really helped me feel productive and understand what's happened and sort of see the passage of time. Also, something that's been really helpful is having Shabbat in community. Coming on for a Kabbalat Shabbat and a Havdalah has really helped mark the passage of time for me. To be in community in those moments has really helped. And so yeah, it's a strange time for all of us. I would love to ask you, Rabbi, while we are in this crazy time during Pesach, how can we use this the message of Passover to propel ourselves into a new kind of freedom? What kind of themes are there for us? What kind of inspiration is there for us to use this as a launching pad to maybe let go of habits?
I love that. There is that old adage, someone tried to set out and change the world and found that the world was too hard to change. And so they tried to change just half the world, and that was too hard to change. And then they tried to change just the folks in their own country, and that was too hard. That was so overwhelming, they couldn't do it. And then they tried maybe just in their own city and their neighborhood and even in their own household. And they felt like that was all just too hard to change. So their friend said to them, well, maybe just start with yourself. And while that's not an excuse, I think, for changing systemic problems, you can't make an effect in the world without deciding that something inside of you has to change. And when I think about freedom, I don't think it's just freedom like what the philosopher Isaiah Berlin said is negative freedom, which is like freedom from. That's that rebellious freedom. I don't think that's the only version of freedom, and he would agree with that too. There's something he calls positive freedom, which is like free to be the person that you've dreamed to be, free to pursue your own flourishing. And so when I think about that moment, and I think about the end of the Passover Seder, where we open the door and we ask Elijah to come in. The rabbis, when they talk about Elijah takes on this mystical, exciting character in rabbinic literature. In the Talmud, he's all over the place. He's in one city and then in the next and then another city. And then he's, where is he? And as you go on through Jewish culture and Jewish history, it turns out that Elijah is everywhere. There's these wonderful stories that Elijah dresses up in the garb of a beggar or a poor person and teaches someone a lesson. Or Elijah is a thief who teaches someone who's really down on their luck how to cheer up a little bit. Or Elijah is a young woman or a child who asks the right question at the right time. And to me, when I think about where we are in this moment and how we end that Passover Seder and this idea of freedom, is that I think each of us together should try to find who in your life is actually your Elijah? Who is it that's going to teach you that important lesson? And you don't know when it's going to happen. And you might not know in the moment that it's happening, but to reflect on it a little bit and say, you know what? I really did learn a lot this week. I learned a lot from the nurse who's fighting this disease and helping people all the time. I learned a lot from the scientist who is just working very hard, like those in our congregation, to try to find a vaccine. And I learned a lot from the grocery store worker who not only needs the job but is willing to take that risk to make sure that other people can eat. And I'm willing to work from the food bank worker or the homeless shelter manager who is trying to bring our most vulnerable inside. I learn a lot from the homeless person who is just trying to make do the best we can. And so in those moments, I think that those are our Elijahs. Those are our Elijahs that try to teach us those little pieces of wisdom. So as we go from the Passover of the past and from slavery to a future of redemption and freedom, I think the key is look for that person that you open your door to, and both physically and spiritually, who will teach you those pieces of wisdom and who will show you the way forward. I think that's kind of what I've been holding on to. And I learned that from my kids. I have a 5-year-old daughter who's the most precocious little fairy princess you can find. And she says the most amazing on point things that remind me why I do what I do. And so that's kind of what I'm holding on to. And I hope those of you out there who are commenting now, who are putting out some of their hopes and dreams, to just we want to welcome you to our Facebook page. We're about to close out now. I've been enjoying our time with Happie Hoffman, who's a singer-songwriter, up-and-coming rock star in the Jewish world. And it's just been really nice to be together. Happie, I thought maybe if you got one more song, maybe you close us out with one more song. Anything that you're feeling something special? Doesn't have to be Passover. Doesn't have to be. If there's anything that you're feeling moved by.
Well, let's maybe a little short Schmooze of Egypt. There can be miracles when you believe, though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe, somehow you will. You will when you believe. There can be miracles when you believe, though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe, somehow you will. Now you will. You will when you believe. Thank you for having me. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Pesach. Moadim l'simcha to everyone. Thank you.
Happie, thank you so much for being on with us. I want to thank all of our friends who are joining us on Facebook and on YouTube and across the social spectrum. We're just really glad to have everyone here. If you can give some likes and claps for Happie, that would be great to make sure that she knows that you're feeling the love. And we just want to say thank you to all of us. This has been Sunday Schmooze with Rabbi Farkas and at Valley Beth Shalom. If you like what you see and hear, we just ask you to like and share that content, and invite people to like the Valley Beth Shalom page, because that's where most of this is living these days as we continue to live virtually in these sacred spaces together. I want to thank Alana Vorspan, who's our communications director, for helping set up all the technical pieces of this, and Alana Zimmerman, our program director, who's helping us keeping all this programming going. So thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. And I want everyone to stay safe and stay healthy, stay inside. And of course, more than everything else, stay loving of each other. Have a wonderful day.